So, with all that you do, of course, I'm going to ask you now to tell me about your vision and what all that you do encompasses in that vision.
So sometimes I find this is a difficult question for me to answer because, I've built a strong leadership business,
Yeah.
but maybe it's the ADHD nature of myself where, then I start other stuff. So I have a new company we started called Solo Empires, which is to help people build a one person business. And there's so many people in the workplace right now that, they're think about the uncertainty in the workplace right now as you and I are recording this. And I so one of my biggest visions honestly now is just to help people find their own freedom and be able to live life on their terms. So the vehicle for that for me is this new program we're doing called Solo Empires.
Solo Empires. I like the name. It just sounds really good. With
Oh,
that
thank you.
being, yes, with that being said, how long have you been in business?
I first started speaking on stage for leadership, my company in 2003. What's
Okay.
that? 21 years now?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I asked that for a really good reason because in 2000, I mean, yeah, 23, 2000, give me that year again.
2003.
2003. With
Yeah.
that being said, many time has changed so much, James. Like I'm talking about, there is nothing that's the same. When you started, give it to me around 2010 to now. What's the biggest difference with the solo empire that you would like to make the biggest impact, knowing how much has changed?
Well, I I'll say this. This may not directly answer your question, but I definitely will get to it.
Yeah.
Any of us who are running our own businesses, you just have to know that like nothing stays the same. And so whatever you're doing right now, if it's not working, okay, change and find something that's working. But whatever you're doing that's working, at some point it won't work. And it's just being adaptable. So when I first left ministry to just be full time in my business, it was literally the year before the economy crashed in '07 and '08, 2008. Nobody was hiring anybody to come and speak. And so suddenly I'd started a business and then there was no work. So I had to adapt. And then it was like, well, maybe I should do some online stuff and teach some workshops. And then that's how I created my first online course. So by the time COVID came around, another decade later, again, all my business just went to zero. But I'd been through that before. So I was like, okay, we'll just pivot a bit and we'll figure it out. I think when you ask about change,
Yeah.
yeah, so much has changed, and now with AI coming into our world, I think people are not ready for the impact of AI. So what I
Mm.
mean is, there's a lot of companies out there that are saying, of course, we won't lay off our employees for AI, but most totally will, right?
Mhm.
Most totally will, because at the end of the day, we live in a capitalist society, and not everyone's going to do that, but a lot of people will. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and that's why I feel more passionate now about really helping people take kind of the ball into their court and just, hey, just get something started on your own.
Yeah.
So that's the doom and gloom side of what's changed, right? The upside is that with AI evolving so rapidly, I mean, it's exponential. So
Yes.
when you hear people say things like, well, yeah, but AI can't do this, AI can't, record a video. And I'm like, well, actually, it can now. And it's not perfect, but did you see where it was a year ago to where it is now? Like, and where it will be in a year? Then I
Yes.
think AI can just have Javanka do a video that you're not even in it, right?
Yes. Yes.
So the positive side is it's going to open up so many doors. That's why you
Mhm.
want to stay current and on top of AI. And maybe in a minor analogy, well, I think about the internet back in 2000. People didn't really understand the power of it,
Yeah.
and it just took time for people to like actually adopt it. And
Mhm.
now it's normal. AI will be the same. So it's figuring out, how do I leverage AI to make my business grow or be better, or what parts of my business will be irrelevant? Like, I'm already looking at that.
Yeah.
There's things that I do that now the only reason some of the things I sell that I can sell is because people don't know how to use AI to replace it, right?
God.
Like just pure
Yep.
knowledge stuff.
Yep.
Because let's talk about leadership training. If I have some basic training for a bunch of managers at a company,
Mhm.
well, it's not going to be long before those managers can just have their phone and say, hey, I've got this problem employee. This is what they're like. What should I do? And it's just going to tell them. So, okay, I'm looking at that going, all right, some of my business is going to be irrelevant. All
Mhm.
right, that's fine. So how do I evolve?
Yeah.
It's always about evolution. I'm sure you've found the same.
Yeah, yeah. I love this conversation. I think that's why I was so silent and intrigued because you're right. So many things have changed with computers and everything. But I really feel so I will be 46 this year. So I tell everybody I say that to say I know. But AI grew real fast. Like that just I don't know. One minute I heard it and then the next minute I'm like, "Wait a minute." You know what I mean? I asked it to make me a picture and it just designs me a picture. And it seems like James, whenever someone says AI can't, somebody says AI will or it's
Sure.
done. It's like so let everybody just stop saying what it can do if you're trying to keep your jobs for a couple more years. But
For
I'm
sure.
telling you the growth of that is crazy. But I also believe, as you were talking about going in from ministry to the freedom life, I think that this allows solopreneurs that don't really have the staff to be able to free up per se some of their time and allow AI to actually help them and assist them. For example, marketing. I think that like that's an overtime job. So with that being said, I like how you had that discussion about AI. Don't, if I'm not mistaken, I was on your website. Don't you have something coming up about AI?
I just had something this week. It was a workshop for leaders on how to use AI to coach their employees.
Mm,
So I've experimented with a couple of things. So this is an example of evolution, right? So
yes.
I have a course already on how to coach your employees. And then I thought, well, I'm going to show them how to use AI to make that faster. So those are just small tweaks that I'm making
Mhm.
when it comes to solo empires. And did you say 46, Javette? Is
Yes.
that what you said?
Yes.
46? Oh, you look fantastic. Thought you mean in your 30s.
Oh, I
So
think.
Solo Empires is actually directed for Gen Xers. That's really the
Mhm.
people we're trying to help the most, because those of us in Gen X, if I can just cry for our entire generation for a moment, we're called the forgotten generation, and there's many reasons to that. But
Yes.
and because the baby boomers won't let go, right? And the problem is for a lot of us Gen Xers, as we're getting into those ages where it gets really risky if you get laid off.
Mhm. Mhm.
And ageism is real, and we're typically the more expensive people to replace. And if AI can replace half of your job, then, you know,
Yeah.
then AI is going to replace half your job. So that's one of those reasons why I think if you are a Gen Xer, you really have to be thinking, hey, let me be at the front of the tip of the spear on AI,
Yeah.
or let me begin to start something on my own. And to your point, yeah, AI makes the process so much easier. Like if I had AI 20 years ago, like when I think of some of like how much work I had put into like creating courses and all of these things, and man, now
Yeah.
just a few good prompts and you can create some pretty great stuff.
I tell you, James, I shake my head because I remember it's so funny. I remember writing out my resume and not having the right words to say, and then going to read the dictionary. It's like, oh, I could put that in there. And some people might not know anything about it, but don't laugh at me. But I mean, the world is completely different. I will say this that I do feel like they have the current individuals, which are the younger generation, they have a tool that can make things so much easier. And I like how you're scaling your business. And I want to first, well, secondly, after I've said everything I've said, I want to applaud you on 21 years. Like to be able to do that, from '03 all the way to now, that has taken, I'm sure you've had some ups and downs and, like you said, some ins and outs, and that's not heard of now. What do they say? There's a percentage rate where people start a business and don't last for, any more than 5 years because they don't know, what to do and how to go about it. And as I mentioned before, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have one random question. As a leader, as a solopreneur, what would be one rule that you say they should break?
What a great question. As a leader or solopreneur, what's the one rule they should break?
Mhm.
The one rule they should break is the actual rule that's in your subconscious that's telling you to live your life and run your business in a way so that everybody likes you and everybody loves you. That's the rule that almost all of us have lived our life by.
Mhm.
But it's the rules of the ego. You want to break that for the rules of the soul. The soul doesn't seek approval of the herd. The soul seeks expansion, expression, growth. There's something in you that needs to come out. Don't be apologetic for it. That's the rule that holds all of us in place. That's the rule that we need to break.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a vision pro yourself.